Hello and welcome to Today in Film, Episode 7. I'm your host, Donald Parry, and with me today is...
Greg Toby.
Now, today's episode we're going to be talking about Shaun of the Dead. I was about to say Hot Fuzz. That would... Oh,
Really?
God, what? Yeah, I was about to say Hot Fuzz and just completely forgot that we're not doing that. I was...
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, mate.
This order has messed me up. Like, we should have done it in order. We shouldn't have done... Sure, it shouldn't have done
Yeah,
this
but
last. But anyway, so... As per usual, there is news, but there's nothing big enough for us to talk about. So we'll go
no.
straight into the main topic. Now, Greg, what did you
Yeah.
think? What do you think of Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead. So it's got to be. I mean, this is one of the few horror films that I can actually enjoy watching. It's incredibly funny. It riffs on a classic genre. Great cast as usual. Yeah, just all round really well thought out, well written, well shot film. You?
Uh, yeah, I think it's an incredible film. Like it's true comedy gold, like British comedy gold as well. And although I think it's probably, in my opinion, it's like the least. It's not the worst. I don't want to say the worst in the trilogy because
No.
obviously it's not bad at all. It's amazing, but in my expectations, it's third. It comes third in the trilogy, and I think it's just because like their kind of storytelling stuff it evolved with the other two, and I think they
Definitely.
came into their own because obviously this one was a bit more like we've got to kind of hold it back because if this goes tits up, then we're buggered here.
No, definitely. It feels a lot safer than the other two.
Yeah, I mean the cast in this is the cast in this is a lot less like A list, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, it was really Edgar just casting his friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, ah, who's the one from Space who plays Yvonne? Is it
Marsha.
Marsha? His ex girlfriend. Yeah. Is it his ex? I don't know. His friend. The
No,
one
it was Daisy.
Daisy.
Yeah, Jessica Hines.
Just kind of yeah. She didn't play Daisy. I thought it was Yvonne or
Oh yeah,
something.
Daisy Steiner.
Daisy Steiner. Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird. I could have sworn it was Yvonne or something like that. But basically, like
No.
having her from Spaced, which is if you know about Spaced, they did a zombie startup in one of the cold open, I guess, in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I need to, but
Oh, you need to.
the whole
It's all on Amazon.
yeah, I watched like 2 episodes of it and then I kind of just forgot about it, which is
Oh
not
god.
good. But
No.
basically, in so basically they did that because they wanted to do a zombie thing, and it was like Resident Evil, I think it was, like trying to parody. But
Yeah, that's it.
that was their first one, and a thing I found funny because I have watched that scene just
Hmm.
separately. In that scene in Spaced, he's spinning around with the shotgun, and it's like kind of going into like it's kind of first person mode, but it's not first person mode. And
Hmm.
in Shaun of the Dead, when he's firing the Winchester rifle, it does that exact same shot, like
No, exactly.
scene for
Yeah.
scene. There's no like obviously location stuff's different, but it's bang on, and that
Hmm.
like it really kind of shows that they wanted to do it,
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
it was them just doing something they want to do, and then obviously with Hot Fuzz and The World's End, they got to do it in a more personal, more fun way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel Spaced was really the breeding ground for Edgar's style, really, and everything he wanted to do, which
Yeah.
he went on to do in the Cornetto movies.
Well, speaking of Shaun of the Dead, brief description of the film. Shaun uh, and his friend Ed. Basically, Ed's useless, and the zombie apocalypse. They go and save friends and family, end up in a pub, and that's it.
Okay.
That's pretty much the story of the film. But this has nothing to do with Shaun of the Dead, but it's a horror comedy. You
Okay.
know, so horror comedy. Shaun of the Dead, a horror comedy. That's what it is. That's the genre.
Hmm.
It's a, it's one of the like most successful ones in that genre. To be honest, it
Definitely, yeah.
is, and it's one of the only ones I've watched because I don't really like horror. Just not my kind of cup of tea, or whatever. But
Hmm.
the Truth Seekers, I think it is.
Okay.
Don't swear. Don't. I'm not going to swear to that. But the new Amazon Prime show, starring and written by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost,
Yeah,
about
it's something like that.
investigators. But that, like, so they've done this. They did Shaun of the Dead first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not first, but that was the kind of after Space.
It was
That
their
was the thing.
breakout.
Yeah, it was the breakout role. Space was kind of a breakout, but not really. So to go back to something like that, I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, it should be good. Yeah, it's like
It,
going back to their roots.
yeah, and it's but the thing that I saw about it was they said that it's meant to be like scary, like actually horror,
Hmm.
and it kind of feels like because of Hot Fuzz with some of the gory scenes in that. I get the feeling if
Yes.
they'd done Hot Fuzz later on, we would have seen a more gory film,
Oh, absolutely. I
like
mean, the
a
gore is
darker.
always played for laughs
Yeah, like I mean,
in those.
David is it the Nobda with the glasses and stuff?
Tim Messenger.
No, in Shaun of the Dead, the dickhead with the glasses, the twat.
Oh yeah. David. David.
Yeah, yeah, David. Yeah, when
Yeah,
he gets his guts ripped out and stuff. It's all for comedy. Like it's the same effects they used to use. Like it looks so bad, you
yeah.
know.
It's very Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, and it's meant to because it's like this is the same kind of thing they did. So you
No,
liked it back
exactly.
then, and it's But anyway,
Hmm.
I've been talking for like 5 minutes now. So how do you think it compares to the other two films in this trilogy?
It's a lot more pulled back, as you said. Sort of the style. It's there, but it's very subdued. It's not as glossy. It's much more rough and raw. Um, and well, personally, I think it's actually funnier, in my opinion. The jokes seem to be more of the focus, really.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that comes through. But and that's the thing. Actually that's a slight problem I have with it. In
Okay.
so when his mum dies, that scene is extremely emotional.
Oh, totally.
You know, and it reminded me a bit of how The World's End doesn't get emotional until the scene behind the bar at the end. When they kind
Yeah.
of reveal that he's suicidal and alcoholic and all that stuff. Like it kind of showed me like they like to do the fun bit and then get into the serious bit later on. That's the style,
No, totally.
and it's a bit like Shaun of the Dead. It kind of comes off like it makes sense, but all of the deaths so far have been so like jokey that
No, totally. They've all been sort of all of a sudden just like, bah, dead.
yes, like Philip. They try to have that emotional scene with like I'm sorry for being a bad dad or whatever,
Hmm.
and it's like it's meant to be emotional, but I
No, yeah.
didn't really get it because it's like we haven't he's all he has bad feelings toward this guy, and that's it. Like
Hmm.
we haven't been told that he's actually a good guy because it could be he's a dick.
Well, yeah.
So I think I, I don't even know what I'm trying to say now. I'm just rambling
No, but
about this, but
I know what you mean. That scene, it's definitely like it's got all of this build up. All of this. I'm so sorry. I should have been a better dad, etc.,
yeah,
etc. And it's just like Simon Pegg's crying, and then all of a sudden, it's just like he's not there anymore. His eyes go white, and it's just like everyone out all of a
yeah.
sudden.
Well, it literally goes straight into a joke
Yeah,
because he's gone, and he's like she's like, where's he gone? Classic, classic kind of dad joke
classic
there.
mum joke.
Classic mum joke there. And then he goes, he's dead, and then she goes, no, he isn't. And then it's just like, oh, that
Hmm.
is because it's a bit weird because also when she dies, there's a little bit of time where she's still like dead.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So it's like they kind of changed the physics of it,
Yeah, the
which
the
is.
rules definitely get changed a lot.
But then I think that's the great thing because that's a classic zombie movie thing, isn't it? Like Walking Dead does that a lot. Like, oh, Gary's been bitten, but don't worry, he might not turn in like a day or two, or he might turn like right now, and we're all
No,
dead.
exactly. It's either wait until next episode or,
Holy shit,
literally
he's back.
just snap. Yeah.
It's that I feel like if we had another one,
Hmm.
like if Edgar Wright and the other two, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, if they did a kind of Shaun of the Dead kind of movie, maybe Dust Till Shaun, whatever. I feel like a more horror orientated comedy
Yeah.
could work more now because they're a bit more kind of established and they're allowed to do more now.
Oh, exactly. I mean, they're at the point where they can sort of pick and choose their projects.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you got Simon Pegg doing like Star Trek whenever that
Mission
comes. If
Impossible.
Mission Impossible, whatever they're doing with their own company, Stolen Pictures, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, still a
Uh,
picture.
Simon Pegg, Nick Frost's own company. That was a weird one because they didn't do anything for years with that.
Yeah.
I know
No.
they announced stuff, but then that was it. They just have like radio silence.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a bit odd.
So they are definitely like because they were in there. What was it? Was he like 29 at the start or something like that? He was late 20s, early 30s.
Yes.
So they were still very. They weren't young into it,
No, no,
but
but they were like, yeah.
obviously at that age, they had to impress. You know,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
so if they did a zombie movie and it was a bomb, and
That'll be it.
that's the thing because if they'd done a horror movie, it would not have been as successful.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, having a horror movie as your first film, it doesn't work for all directors, but thankfully it worked for Edgar.
yeah, but it's like horror movies traditionally don't make much money. They don't. It's facts.
No,
And
yeah.
so I feel like that's why I'm saying like if they did one now that was horror, which they seemingly are with the
Hmm.
Truth Seekers or whatever it's called, that like they can do it now, and people will if they did a film, people would go and see it because it's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost or Edgar Wright. But back then, it was we have to do this and we have to do it right because if this goes down, that's it.
Hmm.
That's not it. But we're probably not going to be as prominent or well off.
No, it's a huge risk, and you can definitely see that watching it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've been talking for ages. What do you like most about the film?
In terms of what I most like, it's how it takes zombie genre and almost breathes a new life through it, from taking the the old tropes of them being stuck in the cabin, or in this case a pub, fending off zombies, and things like sort of them being taken one by one until it's only one or two.
Yeah,
um yeah, and also the fact that it doesn't shy away from blatantly referencing. So the line, "We're coming to get you, Barbara."
yeah.
So that's a almost direct reference to the original Night of the Living Dead, in which a guy says, "No, they're coming to get you, Barbara."
It's it's that's the actually, yeah, that's the thing about the first two are very cliche in like what they
Absolutely.
do, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And then it's weird because when you look at The World's End, it's both cliche and it's also not at all, because
Mm,
it's an alien invasion, but that's not the main
that's
focus
not
as
the point.
such. It's about the pub crawl, the whole film, and like Shaun of the Dead, it's about the survivors surviving, but there's
Yeah.
zombies. There's zombies, And Hot Fuzz,
Yeah.
it's about the police. It's about like doing that,
Buddy
and
cop.
then there's the whole mystery. So I think
No, absolutely.
it's it's very cliche in the right way.
Yeah, it's sort of it's Edgar Wright demonstrating his love for the genre. He's a self-proclaimed cinephile. He's
Yeah,
like, if you look online, he's got a list of like 1,000 like favorite films, and the amount of stuff there, like it's everything from things like 2001 to like obscure zombie flicks.
oh, it's like I mean, well, how much? How old would they be? Like they were, yeah, so like early 30s, late 20s.
Yeah, very
They,
young.
yeah, they were, yeah. Obviously, people get into it younger, and people get into it older.
Hmm.
But they came in, and it was 2004. So when I think about comedy movies, I think Anchorman came out in 2004.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, but when I think about like old comedy movies from like around that year, like around that time period, I kind of
Hmm.
think like you know Adam Sandler movies. A few
No,
probably count
exactly,
them,
and think yeah,
but
yeah, and things like Will Ferrell,
yeah,
John C. Riley, Seth Rogen, yeah.
but I can't really say like, oh yeah, there's like British or like Sacha Baron Cohen for UK,
No, exactly, yeah.
but it was like
That IG.
yeah. So having this new comedy thing coming from a TV show, kind of same people, so
Yeah.
and I think that's why Judy Robert, no, what's her name?
Penelope Winton,
Is that her name?
I
The one
believe,
from
who
Spaced.
played the mother. Oh, no. I said her name earlier, didn't
Yeah,
I?
you did. I've
Jessica
forgotten.
Hines.
Jessica Hines. To have her in it, it's like we had her on like call or message, and so
Yeah.
we just kind of asked her like, "Do you want to come in for a short role?" And
No,
it's
absolutely.
that's an easy thing to do, isn't it? Like
Hmm.
the I don't know. I feel like I need to be. I feel like we need to say more about this film, but I
We do,
don't know
but
what.
again, yeah,
I don't know what to say.
it's like the other two.
It's when you talk about something you love, it's hard to talk about it for a long time without
Yeah,
just
other
sounding
than
like it.
saying, yeah,
Yeah, without sounding like a bit of a dick because you're like, oh, I love this film so much. It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
after about 5 minutes, people just go, I don't give a shit. See ya.
Hmm.
And I think like the Cornetto Trilogy, like, it's one of those things. where it
Hmm.
really does kind of, I don't know, it has a special place in, I think, cinema history.
Oh, very much so.
And I think, like, I know there's people who hate it, probably. It
Hmm.
happens all the time. There's people who don't like World's End, there's people who don't like Shaun of the Dead, there's people who don't like Hot Fuzz. There's people who love all three, there's people who love one and hate the others, or it's all about opinion.
No,
But
exactly. It's all subjective.
I can't say that I've met anyone who has said, "Oh, I don't like those films."
No, exactly. I mean, I know people who don't like The World's End, for example. That's definitely the divisive one, but the other two, certainly not.
And
You know, yeah.
that's the weird thing. Like The World's End, I think it's a great film. I really do.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah.
And so when people say like, "Oh, I don't like it as much," it's a bit like, why?
Hmm.
And they never explain why.
No, that's the thing. Like, maybe they've only watched it once. You know, and these films, like, you grow to love them more and more as you watch them.
Yeah, but I mean, just having watched all three of them, World's End I watched twice, but having watched all
Hmm.
three of them, Shaun of the Dead definitely kind of came off as like, yeah, it's great, but it
Hmm.
isn't at the same level because they were held back. Like, I feel like I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the studio like side of it, but
No.
I do get the feeling like it could be they held themselves back, like out of fear
Hmm.
of like, if we go all out and this bombs, how are we going to feel about that?
It could also be a matter of running out of steam, really, because you
Yeah,
see, how much each one gets bigger and bigger. You wouldn't want to have the very first one to be absolutely huge because, you'd run out of momentum,
and it's the thing is,
if you see what I mean.
it could very easily be a B movie. Like,
Exactly.
it really could be
Yeah, I
because
mean that's what zombies were at that zombie movies were at that point,
they still are.
ever since the 90s.
I think 2010, 2009, 2011, I don't know. Zombieland,
Yeah.
American zombie comedy.
Yeah,
Nowhere near as good as Shaun of the Dead, I don't think. Because
absolutely not.
it
Yeah.
takes, in that film, it's about like, oh, we're Americans, we're badasses, and we kill zombies.
And Bill Murray is here.
Yeah, and it's a bit like, eh. But when you see
Hmm.
Shaun of the Dead and they throw records at zombies, they throw kitchen utensils that do absolutely nothing, and they miss most of the shots. It's
Exactly.
like these people are relatable. Like,
It feels like a film made with actual like love, really.
yeah, like they wanted to kind
Effort.
of, yeah, they wanted to like go, all right, here's film. That's the
Yeah,
thing. Like,
rather than the American way of making movies, which is, well, if it makes money, let's make it.
yeah, that's basically it. But you know, looking at it, Hot Fuzz is the one film that has like, it takes away from ordinary people as such
Hmm.
because it doesn't focus on the everyman, does it?
No,
Like,
well, there is no everyman. I mean, the closest we get is probably Danny.
yeah.
He's caught up in all of it,
But
rather than being like the hero or villain, really.
so Shaun is an idiot. He really
Just
is.
a bit.
He's an idiot. Like, there's no denying that he is. Like,
No,
you know,
no, definitely not.
his whole plan is good, and then
Hmm.
Ed just goes like, oh, we need to go somewhere. And it's like, all right, we'll go to Winchester then. It's just like
Yeah,
your
yeah, the place
plan.
we've been going every
Yeah,
night.
your plan about staying at the apartment probably would have worked out better. Just
I
so,
think so.
but like,
Hmm.
Nicholas Angel is the badass cop. because that's the
Mm-hmm.
cliche. That's the point.
Yeah,
And then Gary King is the troubled man
he is.
who
Yeah.
tries to hide it, and he's the troubled man who tries to hide it, but it's so obvious when you can see it.
Hmm.
When you know what it is, you can see it blatantly. So I
Yeah.
think that's why I think the characters are more kind of more relatable in Shaun of the Dead and World's End.
No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, what one thing I take away from the trilogy is how it's really about growth. Sort of. So Shaun of the Dead is you when you're younger. You know, you don't know what you're doing, so you're just drifting along. Sort of. You know, you're
Yeah,
naive. Then you get to Hot Fuzz, and you're sort of getting into the groove of things. You know, you're sort of, I'd say, late 20s, mid 30s, and you're sort of getting your life together, and everything's going great, everything's coming up. And
yeah,
then the last one is you're sort of 40s, late 40s, early 50s, and you're sort of, things are falling apart, you got regrets, that it's sort of, yeah, it's a timeline really. I think it's
yeah.
very much reflective of, yeah, just growing up in a sort of a this modern world we live in.
See,
Really, that's one thing I take from it.
I think to kind of follow up on that, but also change it completely. I think it kind of shows the difference, the different paths life can take you. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. We don't know anything about Shaun apart from the fact that his dad left when he was 12, and
And he's a
Philip.
DJ.
Yeah, he's DJ. Philip has been his stepdad for 17 years. So he's been there
Mm-hmm.
for longer than his actual dad was.
No, yeah.
So we have no reason, we have no reason to believe that, oh, he's a failure, he's an idiot, because he kind of, it comes across because he's working a very dead end job.
Mm.
He's not like a manager or anything. He's not the top cop. And obviously, you go to Hot Fuzz, and he is the top cop. Because
No, exactly. Top of his game.
yeah, and in that, you hear his origin story essentially of, oh, I had the pedal police car, and I went around arresting
Yeah.
people twice my age and twice my size, and got beaten up, and then was it his uncle or granddad or something that gets
It was his
arrested.
uncle, yeah.
He gets arrested, and he's
Yeah, for
like, I
selling
never
drugs to
touched that.
kids.
Yeah, I never touched it. I let it rust. But that kind of morale, that moral code, didn't leave me. And obviously, he
No.
uses that to strive. And then we get to Gary King, and he focuses on that night. The one night he was supposed to go everywhere, and it went nowhere for him because he wasn't
Mm.
looking at it right. You know?
Yeah, he sees that as has the anchor of his life, really. It's the only thing going for him, really. The only thing he's ever been, ever been thinking about.
And I think just to see that, these three characters played by the exact same actor are so
Yeah.
starkly different
Oh, yeah.
in
It's
every single
yeah.
way,
So much range.
and they're all co-written by that actor. Like,
Hmm.
yes, Nick Frost's characters are very different,
Yeah.
but he does play he does kind of play the kind of very I don't know what the word would be. I was going to say kind of timid, but that's not what I want to say. He's not an
No,
idiot,
sort
but
of
he's
like
like the
sidelined,
yeah. He's
something
kind
like
of
that. I don't know.
Ed and Danny. Uh, they're not as they're not as prominent. They're not as forefront. And then you get I forgot what his name
Andy.
is. Andy. You get Andy, and he's the grown up one.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
almost
complete
yeah,
change.
it's almost like in Shaun of the Dead and The World's End, Simon Pegg is the kind of like teenager one, the failed teenager who never grew up.
Yeah.
And then you get to, Nick Frost, and then in the first two, he's the kind of teenager who didn't grow up as such. And then in the third one, he
Then in
becomes
the end, he's there to pick up the pieces when, Simon Pegg's character breaks down.
Yeah, so it's a real kind of. I think it's the thing about their like relationship as friends and like as two
No,
actors.
Yeah.
And I think it proves
No,
how
I
well
mean,
how well they know each other.
yeah,
Like,
definitely. I mean, it definitely seems like I don't know whether this is true or not, but it seems like reflective of their real life friendship,
yeah,
perhaps.
because the whole thing about World's End is obviously Sam Pegg, was an alcoholic, and Nick Frost is his best friend.
Yeah.
And in the World's End, Andy is Gary's best friend, who left him because, well, no, Gary King left him, but then like he didn't go after him, and it's a bit like, yeah, it is a bit like the in the real life he's the friend who didn't leave or something like that. Obviously, we don't know. Now we've kind of gone off topic, but
No, but I mean, it's an interesting sort of little tangent to go on because it allows us to actually deconstruct, sort of the hidden thread, really, that doesn't get mentioned enough, really.
yeah, I mean we've both just said two different ways of looking at this trilogy that are
Yeah, there may be a third.
yeah, but they are absolutely not canon as such because they didn't have when they wrote Shaun the Dead, they didn't have the story of the other two in mind.
No, definitely not.
So it's like what we basically just said is we've just said a fan theory about like about the next Star Wars movie when it hasn't even been written. It's like that. It's like we're saying something about something that they didn't even know. So it's not that way, but it's nice to think that.
Yeah, I mean, someone's gonna hear this and they're gonna be like,
Hopefully,
that'd make a good, little video essay, and they better credit us though.
they better. Have you got much else to say on this? Because
I mean, other than just constantly praising it.
yeah,
No.
and that's the thing. I don't want to do that because that would get boring as hell. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we should probably wrap this up here. It's
Yeah.
half an hour. It's it's a short episode, but I feel like we've had a very, very kind of on topic discussion. So
Very much, and we've definitely been talking about all three of these on a whole throughout this 3-part
yeah,
Cornetto special.
I think honestly you can't do it in any other way.
No,
You really can't. But
it's either all or none.
yeah, because if you're talking about them all, if you're talking about them individually, you're losing some of it because it's part of a trilogy. Obviously, they're not connected.
No, I mean it's not an official trilogy.
It's kind of become an unofficial official trilogy.
Exactly.
That isn't an official trilogy. It's a weird one, but shall we wrap this up then, or
Yeah, let's go.
yeah? So hope you enjoyed the episode. Please feel free to kind of like and subscribe or whatever they do on podcasting websites. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you like.
Yeah, share, follow. I don't know. Go look at the Instagram if you want. I said subscribe. I'm lost here.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was on about. Basically, just do what you usually would. Yeah, share it if you want. Just hope you enjoyed it. And see you next time.
See you then. Yeah,
Bye.
see you next week.